Welcome back, everyone, to the third stop of 3 of the Vans Triple Crown of Surfing here at the 2014 Billabong Pipe Masters. We started off in Haleiwa, went on to Sunset, and the third and final stop will decide top honors, and the world title race is alive and well. We just saw Gabriel Medina make it through his heat. We get ready for our next heat. Heat number 7, Jordy Smith up against Jadson and Jeremy Flores. As we welcome everyone back, Pat Parnell along with former pipe finalist Ross Williams, and we've seen a bit of change in the wind, but it's looking better for our surfers, Ross.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's not completely ideal. You would love it to be out of the east or the south, but it's definitely verging towards trade winds, which is better than that convection wind. For a while there, we were looking at sea breezes, so that's backed off, which is good for the boys.
And we look at Medina. One quick sigh of relief, he moves on directly to round 3. If he wins in round 3, he takes out Kelly Slater for the world title conversation, but Mick Fanning is still alive and well. And look at the media frenzy. This is a Brazilian novella in the making.
Holy obligations, Batman. Therein lies all the talk about pressure, about, staying focused, creating a bubble around yourself. You can see why. This young Brazilian is carrying an entire nation on his back.
You mentioned that nation, the Vai Medina campaign, it took off like wildfire. All the celebrities around Brazil and Latin America, for that matter, really getting behind the Vai Medina campaign. He is a veritable superstar, a juggernaut.
Right.
He's up there with George Clooney when it comes to people in terms of celebrity status in Brazil.
Good-looking kid, amazing talent. He's young. He's got everything going. And here's the cool thing about Gabriel Medina. He's not a flash in the pan by anyone's standards. All his peers have a lot of respect for Gabriel. He could win multiple world titles.
So Medina trying to wear the pressure well. We heard from him in that interesting sit-down with reigning world champ Mick Fanning along with Kelly Slater, where they all sat at the desk, and we weren't buying the fact that he wasn't feeling the pressure. As we jump in, Jeremy Flores on his backhand finds a quick drop in on the pipe side. He'll grab rail, gets a quick cover up, and it goes down right at the end, but nonetheless, we've seen how important it is just to get some minor numbers on the board, because the likes of a Ritz, Reef, they were only looking for minor scoring waves and they couldn't advance.
It's a bit of a bummer. We saw this in the trials, didn't we? It went from full-blown tube fest, guys soul arching in barrels, to guys really having to grind and compete and find those mediocre scores. And that's exactly what's on Jeremy Flores' mind right here. He knows this is not a crazy wave at pipe. He's just trying to find a 3 or a 4, some kind of score to get on your belt, because with these conditions sort of getting a little bit weaker, those 4s and 5s can go a long way.
And fortuitous for Jeremy Flores, currently right now 11th on the QS. So based on double qualification on the CT side of things, he'll keep his CT hopes alive, but currently 33rd on the CT, not the season. Really pretty surprising year for Jeremy Flores when you consider how talented he is.
It is. That's unfamiliar territory for Jeremy Flores. He has been a staple in the top 22, even a top 10. So, and a former winner here at Pipeline. So he can get it done, but give him credit. He's had a shocker of a year in a CT. He went on to QS, got the points he needed, and he's looking safe.
2010 pipe champion, and they always compare his rise on the European side of things to Kelly Slater. There was a lot of hype surrounding Jeremy Flores, and it turned out it was for good reason. Very talented, as we see some decent-sized sets starting to roll through. Will they materialize at pipe, or maybe something on backdoor?
This set is coming a little bit more from the west, which is what you like to see. These guys are sitting pretty wide, though. Everyone's been focused on backdoor. That's where all the good scores have been so far today.
So Jordy Smith also in this heat up against Jadson as well. Jordy Smith, he's requalified, currently 7th on the CT, and his 7th year on tour. Would love to have a strong finish here at pipe. One of the few things that's eluded Jordy Smith having a pipe win.
This is a nice looking pair of waves coming in. There's 2 or 3 in a row.
Anticipation. Boys, this is the best part when you're sitting up, because you really get those indicators. Now we're really starting to see stand up, out the back. Priority is open between Jordy Smith and Jadson, and Jordy trying to get to the side.
And you can see, Pat, the reason why they didn't go on those 2 waves, they were nice and big, but they didn't stay open. See how that thing is basically mushy? You want to see open, round cylinders where these guys can fit in that barrel. That's the big point. So that's great wave choices for these guys to take a skip.
So just to give you an idea just how snug the score lines are, a 1 for that first wave by Jeremy Flores. As we check in with current #1 in the world, Gabriel Medina, he's with Rosie.
Thanks, Pat. Yes, Gabriel Medina, you're in a position so few people get to experience. What's it like running up to the beach, Marshall, picking up your vest and getting ready to compete at Pipeline?
Yeah, it's really fun. I love to surf pipe, and yeah, I'm looking for just to surf good, you know, just to get my barrels, my waves, and having fun out there. And yeah, that was a good way to start it.
And you know, we've seen you excel in Fiji at Cloudbreak and obviously in Tahiti taking out the win there. How comfortable do you feel out at Pipeline?
Yeah, I feel good. I love waves like this, you know, just barrels, and there's some backdoors and pipes, and yeah, I love to get barrel for both ways, and I feel comfortable. I got a good board on my feet, and yeah, I'm looking for a good result.
All right, well, one step closer to that first world title. Gabriel Medina moving through to round number 3. Back to you, Pat.
Thanks, Rosie. Yeah, by good result, he means to get the first world title ever for himself and for Brazil. And it's interesting, he mentioned backdoor. That's one of those Achilles heels that a lot of people are saying if it's a lot more backdoor, it's going to work against Gabriel Medina.
There's no two ways about it. It's difficult on your backhand. Being a goofy footer at backdoor is challenging. It's one of the most challenging things in surfing. But here's a cool thing for Gabriel Medina. He's freakishly talented. He's one of the best in the air. And a lot of these guys that are good at doing aerials are great tube riders. They have those reflexes you need.
Well, also in the hunt in this heat is Jadson Andre, the resurgence of Jadson Andre. Spent 3 times on the CT, fell off, and then requalified. And it's been great to see his energy on tour. He's always the first up, always full of excitement every single morning, even on those flat days. Can always count on a little positivity as we see a nice wave start to stand up. 21.5 on the clock. And we'll have a taker. Jeremy Flores. Beautiful backdoor pit. He gets the clean exit. Almost lost it, and you saw just how quickly he recalculated his line and held on for the exit.
Sometimes you can make a minor mistake, and it actually makes you get deeper in the barrel. And you can see Jeremy, he would have liked to have been a little deeper on that wave, but I think he was surprised the boys didn't get that. He turned around, and that is going to be a great score for sure. To me, it feels like it's going to be an excellent ride. Look at this gem. We haven't seen one like this in a while. And right there, he gets a little caught up just for a second, and it got him deeper in the barrel, and he comes flying out. Watch this. You can see a good 10 or 12 feet behind him is where he would have liked to have been. But see him grab that nose, just almost pearled for a second, and that actually slowed him down a little bit. So that was a great sort of coincidence. And right here, he's perfectly deep. Again, if he would have got a lot of projection on that bottom turn, he would have been already out of the barrel. But because he almost pearled, he slowed down just enough to make that you know, potentially an excellent score.
2010 pipe champion. I don't think anyone will question, too, if it gets a little bigger. Jeremy Flores is probably in the top 5, top 10 surfers that will step up and flourish in heavier conditions here.
Former recipient of the AI award in Tahiti. The kid charges. He's in an eddy, and he's off to a nice start.
There is a 7 for Jeremy Flores' first wave. His first wave was a 1, stacks a 7 on top of that. Now Jordy Smith, we talk about his story, 2010 runner-up in terms of CT experience, but he's had an interesting year. There's been these bits of flurries of Jordy where we thought we were gonna see at Bells, maybe one of the best waves ever surfed, just turn for turn. Slater went on record about it, but then just unleashed a power clinic at lowers.
Jordy Smith, he had a shocking loss at J-Bay. It really sucked the oxygen out of the entire town. We all thought that he was pegged to win the event, and he really felt the pressure. It was one of the most pure examples of pressure we've seen all year. He needed a 6.5 early on in the contest. He had a wave that was potentially a 10. It was a bomb of wave that peeled across the entire J-Bay Reef, and he basically flubbed it and got a really meager score and didn't advance on. But he bounced back nicely. Won lowers, had a great leg in Europe.
Currently 7th, so he's requalified for 2015. And Jordy's gone on record saying round 1, it's win at all costs, because he understands round 2, most of the time, run in less than stellar conditions.
Yeah, and well, for someone like Jordy Smith, you know, Jadson Andre, sorry, he loves the barrel. This guy spends a lot of time in Hawaii. a lot of time in Tahiti. He froths out. You talked about his demeanor and how he's got so much happy vibes going, and it really translates. When you see him surf in his hollow stuff, you can tell he wants it.
So interesting story with Jadson, currently 20th. It's that cutoff mark on the CT, but he was active. He backed himself on the QS, a 5th place finish there. But much like Jordy, found a little rhythm later in the season, had that success in France, 2014 runner-up in France, and then had the big QS win in Portugal at Cascais.
Yeah, wow. Europe did wonders for him. It's almost like South Africa did for Wilco is what Europe did for Jadson. It's a funny thing. Everything is really between the two ears, isn't it? You catch some momentum, you start feeling confident within yourself, and you let it happen.
So we started talking about Jordy Smith, how vital it is to win in round one. No more important when you talk about Kelly Slater, Mick Fanning, Gabriel Medina. For an update on the world title race, we once again check in with Ronnie and Strider.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Ross. It's time for the Cliff Bar update. Of course, there's been some big heats today, but none bigger than the 3 that we've just watched unfold. There has been some high drama already. The interesting thing for me is Kelly has been second seed most of the year, so he's been on the bottom half of the draw performing after his title rivals. Today, he got the opportunity to get a jump on Gabriel and Mick and just force some pressure back onto them. He wasn't able to do it, though. Adam Melling, last-minute heroics.
Yeah, just hasn't caught the flow. I mean, really started out with some beautiful rides. I mean, this wave coming out there at the end, almost purling on that sandbar and then pulling it up, just barely staking it. I mean, that is so hard to do. You know, it looked like he was in form. Dusty, though, came back, got this beautiful ride, and Doggy Doors out the corner. I mean, that is just almost took his head off, but Adam Melling just taking it to him.
He had a 5-minute heat, really, Adam Melling. He had nothing until the dying stages of heat number 4. It was a great heat, a lot of waves. Melling picked up this thing in the final stages, went right up into the excellent range, into the 9s, and Melling snatched victory from Kelly Slater and
real
Dusty.
Breather. Yeah, you could see Kelly's look on his face and the water right there. I mean, the emotion. I mean, he just hasn't gone his way this year.
Rosie Hodge made the point when Mick Fanning came out of the water. He's so good at blocking out the noise. And after Kelly Slater lost, Mick really had to stay focused. He got off to a fantastic start. And despite a spirited comeback from Maritz Aranaburu, was able to keep him out of the lead.
The form of Fanning was amazing. This wave right here of Maritz Aranaburu, he couldn't back it up, but that wave was just unbelievable. Perfect ride all the way across the reef.
Maritz chasing a 2.83, wasn't able to find it in the final stages. Mick Fanning getting the win. His mum was praying for him. He moves on through directly to round number 3. Mick extremely comfortable and very relaxed going into this title showdown. The next man up, Gabriel Medina. You could hear the cheers behind us then as the crowd letting Medina know that they're here to really back him in this title showdown. This was heat number 6, Reeve McIntosh.
You know, he started out the heat looking really good. He waited the entire heat for one more wave, and it just never came. Medina backed his first wave up, got this 5-5 right here, and got on the board, got comfortable, and that was what happened out there for him. You know, Reeve and his other competitors out there just waiting for something to happen. Nothing ever came through in that heat. The Brazilians celebrating on the beach right now, on to round 3.
Gabriel Medina so good at just changing up his strategy out there. Obviously everyone's looking for those bomb waves, but that wind picked up, the set slowed down. Gabriel had done enough work. He picked up a couple of decent scores, and it was enough to see him directly through to round 3. And keep in mind, Strider, if he can win that round 3 heat, he'll put Kelly out of contention.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's going to be up to Mick. Well, actually, it's all going to be up to Gabriel because, really, it's his to lose. He's in the lead. He's going to run with it. And these guys on the beach behind us, they're excited. Entire country on his shoulders, and everybody here in Hawaii from Brazil psyching.
There's your Cliff Bar update. We're now going to throw it back to the boys. And, gentlemen, I think we'll probably start talking about requalification now because there are some guys really chasing huge results in this first round and in this contest.
Thanks, Ronnie. Yeah, the only thing that eclipses Brazilians' love for the barrel is their love for Medina. I could barely hear you guys as all the fans showing their support for Medina and that requalification story. It's going to continue as we go down. We mentioned Jadson Andre backed up on the QS with the 5th. He's right at that cutoff mark, but the big story is Jeremy Flores, currently 11th. So he basically relies on these people that are double qualified, and as things finish out here at Pipe, it's going to really dictate how things will stack up for Jeremy Flores. Still a lot to happen here in Heat 7, Round 1. You're watching the 2014 Billabong Pipe Masters in memory of Andy Irons.
we were going out in the ocean since our mom first brought us in when we were babies. And then as soon as we could like really walk, we were going down there by ourselves and playing in the ocean, playing in the shore break. And then as we got bigger, we played in bigger and bigger shore break, and it was just fun, like just something we did every day. And we weren't even thinking about like training ourselves for like surfing bigger, heavier drops. It was just, that's what we had fun doing.
A volatile, electric day so far here at the Billabong Pipe Masters as we continue onward with round one in the water right now. Jeremy Flores, Jadson Andre, and Jordy Smith. Jeremy Flores on top by virtue of the 7. The one yet to get on the board is Jordy Smith. And the media frenzy continues surrounding Medina as everyone wants to have a moment with the potential first ever Brazilian world champ. And we were talking about the conditions, a little bit more texture, but it is shifting. Yeah. What are you seeing swell-wise, sand-wise? What's happening right now in terms of the personality of pipe?
Well, ideally, you would like this wind to shift a little more out of the east. It's got a bit more north than you would like, but it's still basically trade winds, just barely. So it's going to be side offshore. That texture will create just a bit of chop across the face, but still clean enough for the guys to get it done. But what you're seeing out here is it's slowing down. The swell is slightly decreasing, so you're really going to have to make it work when a wave comes your way.
And you were breaking it down on Dawn Patrol earlier this morning. In terms of what we're looking at, a little bit better angle for tomorrow and a little more size, yeah. But the wind is going to pick up. Yeah, so you can see this wind right now, it's doable, but it'll be a bit stronger tomorrow, quite a bit stronger. And we're going to have a big swell come out of the west. So that's classic pipeline with that west-northwest direction. You're going to see possibly some amazing second reef roll-ins with no sandbar really affecting it. So all things being equal, these three surfers in the lineup right now, conditions on hand. Who's got the edge, Jordy Smith, Jadson Andre, or Jeremy Flores? Pretty clean sweep. I mean, yeah. Jeremy obviously can get it done out here. He's won this event. Jadson Andre loves the barrel. He's not afraid to tuck under it. Jordy Smith has been on fire. You know, he is rated the highest in this heat. That's why he's got the red jersey on. But he's got some room to improve in the hollow stuff. So really, Jordy has something to prove in his heat. And really, it's going to come down to who's in line when that gem comes its way. It's interesting when you talk about the evolution of veterans that have been on the CT. I mean, Jordy has already cemented his name for hucks and hacks. Right. But when it comes to big, gaping barrels, is that something that he could improve slightly or at least add more to his game? 100%. I think he would admit to that. He gets his wins in those right-hand points. Jeremy Flores now on his third wave. He'll grab some rail, gets a quick cover-up, and just trying to get rid of the one, so being very tactical, very smart. And he's done that for sure. Just a quick little barrel, but it should be just a little bit of a number to build upon. So now he's going to find himself a pretty comfortable lead. Look at the clock, Pat. It's already down to 10 minutes left. Just shows you how slow it's really been at this swell declining. Again, that score is not going to be very substantial by any means, but it's top two waves. He's got the 7. Combine that with that number there. Out the back is Jordy Smith. He has priority as we see a wave, a solid set wave coming in. Will Jordy Smith capitalize on this? 20 minutes have gone down, and Jordy Smith has yet to catch a wave. Can he find position? It looks like a little inside on this one. There's a lot of waves. Going to have to scramble. A big one behind this one if he can make his way out. And on the inside, it looks like Jadson Andre will find a backdoor section. Little chop on that bottom turn. He'll kick out. Yeah, that's poor wave selection there from Jadson. That had a lot of north in it. And those north direction waves at backdoor are mushy. You really need those waves to look like an A-frame when they come in. So 9.5 on the clock as we check in with one of the surfers who's going to be making his appearance in the Heritage Series. Kong is with our own Ty Klein.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. One of the legends of our sport, 89 Pipe Master, a.k.a. Kong, Gary Elkerton. Gary, what an awesome opportunity to have you here at this event, not only to watch what's going down between Gabriel Medina, Kelly Slater, and Mick Fanning, but to actually compete. How psyched are you to go up against the boys later this afternoon?
Oh, listen, it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity and an honour, especially at Pipeline. It's to roll the dice again. We're very excited, and you can see I'm kind of running my colours when I won the Pipe Masters. So, listen, it's a great honour and pumped to get out there, actually.
Well, in '89, as I mentioned, Pipe Master, you also won Sunset that same year. That has not happened since then. You know, you've had a lot of success in Hawaii. You know, you're going up against some of the best ever out here at Pipeline. What's your strategy going up against those guys? Even though it's more of a fun thing to pay homage to you guys, the best ever from our sport, you know, coming over the years. But what's your strategy going into that?
Oh, listen, I'm just here to have a good time. You know, it's nothing like it used to be. There'll be no elbows thrown at all. But, you know, we had a bit of a chat this morning with all four of us, and it'll be just a handshake and splitting the peak, I hope. Yeah, I hope.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a fun time out there. We're honored to have you here, Gary. And you mentioned, you know, you have your 9-year-old daughter here. She's seen your Pipe Masters trophy at home. Now she gets to see it firsthand. How special is that for you?
Oh, yeah, listen, I had a tear in my eye the other day because, you know, all our names are up there, the past winners, and she finally saw that, and she was just over the moon, and yeah, you know, she's so excited to be here, and now she understands the whole meaning why that trophy is at the top of the mantelpiece.
Well, Gary, it's an honor to have you here on behalf of the surf world. Thanks for coming here and blessing us with your presence, as well as paddling out with the world's best.
Thanks, Todd. Stoked to be here.
Kong's in the house.
Thanks, Todd. Yeah, we're all excited. 89 going back was the Pipe Master, same year that our own Martin Potter grabbed the world title. And back in the day, can you just remember how much bravado and kind of just the attitude that Kong would have? He's unapologetic. He was definitely one of the more characters of the crew, you'd have to say.
Kong exemplified 80s.
Yeah.
He really did. You know, he was larger than life. He scared the judges. You know, he was just a presence to be dealt with, and you know, an icon of our sport. So it's so awesome to see these characters come back to life, if not only for just a half hour here at Pipe, but just to pay homage.
And also in that heat, as we mentioned, Tom Carroll, Derek Ho. It's going to be an exciting heat.
And Derek Ho's going to bring it. You know, Potts said it earlier. He surfs out here every day when the swell's pumping. He's still out of his mind. He's charging, so he'll go for it. And
Sonny Garcia, also a very, you know, a voice that you always tend to hear.
Sonny's got to be frothing with the right-handers.
And Jadson has been so active. We saw him go down on that quick backdoor wave. Definitely committed, but he's trying to scrap back now with 6 minutes on the clock. We saw Jordy Smith, a quick wave, and it didn't materialize for him. But it's Jeremy Flores, because the 7 and the 2.3, he's on top. Jadson Andre needs a 7.3. Jordy Smith with priority, looking for a wave in the excellent range, 8.8. So how patient should Jordy Smith be at this point with just a 0.5?
Yeah, it's getting time to press that panic button. And we saw a couple amazing A-frames come in during that interview. Both Jadson and Jeremy picked one, but they were just a little too deep and weren't able to make it out. So there's still some breathing room. I mean, Adam Melling did it.
So 5:45 on the clock, and we also anticipate running the Heritage Series specialty event with the women taking the water, Stephanie Gilmore, Chris Moore, Tyler Wright, and Bethany Hamilton. And can't wait to see all of the women take to the lineup here as we see a potential wave. You can see Jordy's just hoping, hunting. Let's take a quick look back at our top scoring waves so far. It started with Jeremy Flores.
It's all about this barrel right here. This is the only score of substance, and that's a 7-point ride right there. Clean barrel for Jeremy. Pretty savvy little backup. Even though it's a 2.3, it makes a difference. It's creating pretty large scores needed by both Jadson and Jordy. So these guys, a lot left to be desired in this heat. They just want the Mother Nature to cooperate.
So now into the 5-minute mark, and we just announced Women's Pipe Invitational and the Men's Heritage Series will be taking to the water. So look forward to that, but we still have many more heats in round 1. Winner moves directly to round 3. Second and third place finishers relegated to round 2. And the update on our next heat, Travis Logie, we'll have to see what the update on the situation is, but was sustained an injury. Right. So they've given him the ability to come and surf in round 2. Rest the injuries, so we might have a 2-man heat here.
And you're not going to have the other 2 competitors complain about that.
No.
They'll be stoked. One less dude in the lineup, a lot more waves for them.
So hitting the 4-minute mark, priority still sits with Jordy Smith to bring you up to speed. Needs an 8.8. He has priority. Second in line, Jeremy Flores looking to get rid of the 2.3, his low score. Now Jadson Andre needs a 7.3 as just a steady flow, small to medium-sized waves, but finding those good little corners when it looks like Jeremy Flores will take a look And on the inside, under priority, Jadson trying to get something going.
Well, here's the thing about the North Shore and in Pipeline especially. When the waves get funky like this, it can turn it into kind of a grind fest where you're looking for medium scores, but you're always in the back of your head waiting for that excellent score. You never know when that wave's going to come through and produce a perfect 10. It could happen. So even though the conditions are a little bit meager, it could turn back on like a light switch.
Can happen in the last 10 seconds, as was the case for Adam Melling. And we've also seen Melling actually combo situation with 6 minutes to go.
Right.
That's the amazing thing. We always write off the combo situation,
right? But
you were bringing it up how quickly you can stack 2 waves into your account at pipe.
Ideal for coming back within a short amount of time because of the paddle back out. It literally takes less than a minute to get back out. So you can catch a couple waves, in 2 minutes, ideally.
So Jordy Smith now under the 3-minute mark. He's looking for an 8.8. Can he find it? Pulls into the barrel and just gets clamped. No clean exit on that whatsoever.
Yeah, Jeremy Flores clearly has been the one kind of in sync with the Mother Nature in this heat. He's found the best waves. He's really taken advantage of a couple. He's got that 7-point ride. He almost came out of would have been near 10 during that interview. So, it's no surprise that he's found himself on the top, but a pretty meager scoreline.
Well, it's great to see Jeremy Flores find his rhythm. We mentioned it's been a shocker of a year for him. No better than 13th so far on the CT. So good way to finish it. And as we get closer, we'll make it official in terms of how the CT requalifies. He's just outside of that top 10, but it looks like we have double qualification for a handful of our guys.
Yeah, as of now, I believe we have 4, maybe even 5 double qualifiers. Yeah. So he is pretty safe, but you never know what could happen. You still have to wait for the dust to settle to see exactly where that number is going to fall.
Now into the 2-minute mark, and priority jumps to Jeremy Flores, so he can just sit, be patient. All he's looking to do is replace the 2.3. However, Jadson Andre in the 7.3, so if a situation comes in where they end up splitting the peak, we could see a shakeup on the leaderboard. Remember, winner goes directly to round 3, second and third place into elimination round 2. It's been an interesting day on the world title hunt. Medina through, McFanning through, but Kelly Slater will have to battle it out in round 2. That's the biggest shocker so far this morning, without a doubt.
Yeah, Kelly, he surfed a great heat. He just got absolutely sideswiped by Adam Melling. He got the bomb of the heat and surfed it well. So what can you do? Sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
So now the last 60 seconds. And it looked like Jordy Smith had an opportunity there. He was awfully patient. He waited 20 minutes to catch his first wave, if you can believe that. Long, lully section for Jordy Smith, so he'll have to find an 8.3. That last wave, a 1, betters his 0.5, but incredibly low score line for Jordy Smith.
Well, Jadson having a look at this little one. He only needs a 7.3. That has to be a pretty decent wave. It'd be the best ride of the heat. I don't know if there's enough time, Pat, for that.
Yeah, you can see just not enough time for a couple waves out the back for them to roll in, and utilizing priority. Jeremy Flores on a backdoor, quick barrel, driving, still going on that. And can't get out the end of it. A little surprised just how far he got. Was able to go through about 2 chandelier sections on that and just force his way through. So Jeremy Flores was on the right, and it looks like it was a quick split peak.
Yeah, he gave a really nice pump to get through the end of that barrel. There's Jordy on the left. Just a small little wave at pipeline into that sandbar. It's going to be a pretty low score. Watch this big pump to get him over all the way down to that 8th section right there. That was a fast section, had a lot of whitewash in, but you could see his board continue on. Just not enough room to get out of that exit.
So there it is, Jeremy Flores, victorious. He moves directly into round 3. Chloe and Dino, Freddie P. When we come back, stay close.